So I'm Nabila, they call me Coach Nabs for short. I have been coaching with Tigers for my 4th season now, so we're just approaching the 4th season. Prior to that, I'd actually signed my son up, obviously in the first of that season, and he was brought into Shakir's team from development quite quickly. He'd recognised that my son had a bit of a hand-eye coordination and asked me if I was okay with him going in as goalkeeper. I had no issue with that. My dad used to play in goal, always had massive respect for that position. So for me, it was like, let's do it. That was actually through a recommendation from a friend whose son was already attending Tigers. So she said, yeah, you need to go and check them out. Really good sessions, really good coaches. Brought my son down for the first session. After that, signed up straight away. Loved it. Brilliant.
How is he doing now?
He's brilliant. Obviously, all players go up and down. They have good days, good seasons, bad seasons. First 3 seasons, smashed it. I've never been so hyper in my life. I lost my voice after a couple of weeks as a parent on the sideline, because I don't think I've ever been so, what did you say today? So gassed about anything before. And, you know, seeing my son in his element with his little teammates, basically killing everybody in the whole of Northolt, in the whole of the area, winning match after match, and the score lines were insane. We're talking 10-0, 15-0, 23. Oh my God, I still remember that game. That was, to the point where we actually stopped watching the game. Me and you either turned our backs.
I left.
I know, we don't celebrate anymore after like 10 goals. We're like, oh my God, stop.
Yeah. So if you, Nabs, just tell me about your family, like your kids, your sort of family life.
Yep, so I'm a married mum of 2. I've got 2 children. My oldest is Adam, who is about to turn 10, and he's the footballer. And I have a little girl, Delilah. She is about to turn 5. Little ballerina, of course, little princess. But
she's actually ballerina.
She actually is a ballerina. She does ballet. Yeah, she's got her little thing, you know. I am a chef by trade, so I do personal cooking for clients who are on meal plans, meal preps, people who are looking to sort of, you know, just stay clean but not lose that love for food. You know, that whole diet thing can be scary. I'm trying to take that fear away from people. It doesn't have to be scary, it can be delicious, but it's clean.
So how do you find the family life and your own personal business, the 2 kids, the husband, the big baby, and then the coaching,
yep,
and then you got the granddad, me myself, to deal with the team, the children. So how do you cope with all of this?
It's a lot to balance. You have to have some kind of plan of action. I've literally got a weekly planner on my kitchen counter. Everything is written on it, from who's picking up, what time, which kid I'm dropping off from football, which one I'm picking up, how many meals I'm cooking for this client, which delivery I'm doing, what day Delilah has ballet, what days Adam has training. It's insane. If I don't keep, you know, a really diarised log of what I need to do and where I need to be, I haven't got a clue. I can wake up in the morning and it's really overwhelming. But I'm a doer as well. I find sitting down, it slowly kills me. You know, I'm never staying still. I've been like that since I was really, really young. And I love a challenge. I feel that if I'm not being challenged, it's just not good enough, you know. No, listen, manage it all, work it all, figure it all out, build that strength up and attack it with proper effort, you know. Kids are capable of so much, but the problem with the generation that we're having now is they are
dependent.
Yes, they are wrapped in cotton wool. They're not allowed to do anything by themselves. Oh, they might get hurt. Oh, that might be too scary.
Too hot, too cold.
It's too hot, it's too cold, it's too this. It's like, listen, how did the generations before us get this far? Not from being babied.
Exactly.
I'll tell you that. They were thrown in the water head first, and it's like sink or swim. Figure it out. And that's the way my parents were with me as well.
So that sink or swim is what I understood of it. So from my parents, was giving me the responsibility of my choices.
Figure it out yourself.
So if you're in control of your choices and you're responsible for your choices, okay, your kid, fine, this is wrong, this is right, you have the choice. You're responsible. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you choose. Then you have this thing inside you. You tend to choose right, because you're like, I know they told me what is right and wrong. I'm going to disappoint my parents. But nowadays, this generation, they don't seem to think like exactly, they tend to want to be doing something wrong.
Madness.
Because I think it's kind of cool
It's
to
cool,
do something
isn't it?
wrong.
Yes,
it's
I
kind of
agree. I agree.
the
with
way
you.
things are going in
And that's the way
society right
things are exactly going. That they you know, there's so much, you know, crazy freedoms. And look, again, I've got no issues with anyone with their personal choices, this, that, and the other. But when it becomes to the point where, you know, you're forcing things on people, you want everyone to see it your way, you want it done a certain way, and it's like, hang on a minute, who says that's the right way? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's taking away people's own critical thinking, and that's what's missing. People are not able to actually sit there and go, you know what, hang on, I don't like the look of that. That's not the right thing to do. I'm going to swerve it. Yeah. And it's like when you see these other things happening, you see the other decisions people are making, I scratch my head and I'm like, did you really just do that? Did you really just say that?
It's without thinking, isn't it? It's, and as they say, common sense is not common anymore.
I don't know if it ever has been, to be honest with you,
but
Coach.
definitely not nowadays.
Not anymore.
No anymore.
Sense is missing.
I could, coming back to a point with Adam and Delilah, I could testify to this. I mean, I've been working or known Adam for almost 4 years now, so a very mellow kid, I mean, intelligent kid. So I just wanted an insight into how did you make him like that?
That's a given for some children. Some children, you know, you put a ball in front of them at 2 years old and you're like, well, that should not be possible. You know, they're dribbling around and doing this. It's like, yo, that should be learned. But some kids naturally have it. Other kids have to work at it. Some harder than others. You know, they can pick up things quickly. There's children that I've been working with in development for like 2 years now, and I'm thinking, God bless you, but you still can't pass the ball in a straight line. But then there's another kid that I'll be working with, and he couldn't kick a ball today. Next session, he's kicking the ball perfectly. You know, so everybody learns at different paces. Everyone's got their different issues. With mine, like I said, personally, I'm very much a believer in, like I said, independence, tough love. So I give the kids things. I'm like, figure it out, Adam. There's your pile of clothes. Figure out how to fold it. Figure out which drawer it goes in. Let's get it done. You know, I'm happy for you to ask me a question.
It comes back to their responsibility
100%.
point. You show him what he needs to do, giving him a task, and he needs to fulfill that task.
That's it.
And that's when now you're teaching him life skills.
100%.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to correct. I'm happy to answer questions. But what I'm not happy to do is for you to sit down here and do absolutely nothing while Mum does absolutely everything, and you can't figure out how to tie your shoelace. Yeah. That's just not on.
And that is a problem. Seriously.
It's a massive problem.
There's big kids, you know, 6-foot kids come and say,
and they
can't
can't tie a shoelace. And that's life skills that parents are teaching the kids. I mean, for example, you know, technology is a great thing. We're on it now, you know, but when it becomes a babysitter or a distraction, that is where you're destroying the kids. It's like, here, take the iPad, shut up, go sit in the corner, give me 2 hours so I can paint my nails, do my hair, chat with my friends, you know, do it, whatever it is that I want to do in my time, while you're over there quietly zombied out, you know, learning absolutely nothing. It's like, I don't do that with my kids. Listen, 5 minutes, 10 minutes on YouTube max, you know, something like that they want to investigate. Adam loves to watch these little football videos. Delilah loves to watch her dancing. If it's something relevant or educational, or, you know, something that I'm okay with them watching and I know that it's not going to, you know, scramble their brain, I'm happy for them to have a little look at it. But when it becomes, like I said, that crutch where you cannot have a conversation with this kid because he's having a tantrum, you've just taken the phone off him. You know, this, you know, he won't sit down and colour a picture, or he won't write that 100 words that he needs to write, because he's so, you know, stuck in that whole, I've got what I want, I'm going to get what I want, and I'm going to flip out and have a tantrum if I'm not giving it. And it's like, with me, my kids know, don't play. Don't play. I'm very, very loving. They're spoiled. Let me be honest. My kids are spoiled to the hilt. They've got everything they want. Adam's got like the biggest room in the house. Do you know what I mean? Delilah's got a princess bedroom, and they get everything they want, but they earn it. You know,
and that's the way. So you've got earning system.
100%. You show me that you've done your homework nicely. You show me that your room is tidy. I will get you that magazine that you've asked for, all those trainings that you've asked for. You attend all of your training sessions. You don't get told off by a coach for being a lazy bum or whatever it is. You will get those new football boots. You know, it is an earning system. It's the same as us. We don't work for fun. You know, a lot of people work to earn money to survive. You know what I mean? And it's like they've got to get that instilled. No one is going to sit there and go, there you go. It's all on a platter. You know, knock yourself out.
Well, nothing's
no,
for free,
I worked. Listen, I've been working full time since I was 17. I'm 41 now. No one has given me a leg up anywhere. No one. Started full time working, like I said, set up a business a little bit later on down in life, and it was like, I don't need anyone to feel proud of me. I feel proud of my own achievements, because I know it's like, you know, I could have just gone the easy route. Oh, Mum, can you buy me that? Oh, Dad, I want to go on holiday. I was paying for flights, holiday tickets from 17 years old, you know, and it's like, I've never looked back from that. I've always had that independence, and it's like, I know that if I can do something like that, You know, why couldn't the next generation? And I'm the one who's, you know, teaching them what I've learned. So I'm hoping to step it up a gauge for them. You know, got a football match to go to, I'm going to watch it. I missed one football match in 3 seasons of Adams because I was actually in a hospital recovering from an operation. I felt bad that day. Do you remember that day?
But we did well for you.
You lot smashed
the
it
boys.
that day.
I mean, I didn't give much instruction. I said, Nabs is not here. Can you win this for Nabs? I think they called you. At the
Yeah,
end or
they
something.
did. They
said, we
videoed
won
me and
the
they said,
game.
yeah, I was
What
getting...
was it, like 20 0, 15
I was
0?
getting
I don't remember.
goals
to be
every
honest
10
with you.
minutes. I was
Something-
like, goal, goal, goal. I was counting when I was in the
They
hospital
were
then.
hungry and angry
I
about
was
it.
loving it, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's probably the first time the rectory's been so quiet without my big mouth. But yeah, it's like, you know, like I said, for me to actually make that choice to have kids, it was like, what am I going to do with them? What can you teach them? What is the point? Yeah, you can just breed. Animals breed, you know?
Yeah.
We're not animals. We're supposed to be civilized. We're supposed to be intelligent. We're supposed to be able to develop the next generation. I refused to have children younger because I said, no, I'm not ready for that. I don't feel like I'm ready to teach them anything yet. I'm not done being selfish yet.
Yeah.
Now, I've got all the time in the world for these kids. You know, if they turn around and say to me, I want to go here, I want to do that, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So you live for your kids, basically.
100%.
Yeah.
I've
Your
done
whole
what I needed to
life,
do.
Evolves around your
Yeah,
kids. Yeah,
worked my backside off from really, really young to afford myself that. Like I said, that planning thing. I'm a planner.
That's good.
I have a weekly planner, monthly planner, decade planner. Do you know what I mean?
And that's how it's supposed
And that's
to
how it's supposed to be. I knew that if I didn't get to this point, I probably never would have had kids. Because I thought, what's the point? You know, if I hadn't got it all out of my system, hadn't, like I said, travelled, got the house, did the business, did this and that, I would have put it off and said, there's no point because I'm not fulfilled yet, and I don't feel like I'm going to be able to put that 100% into my kids. I think that and it happens. You know, accidents happen. You know, families break up. Nothing is perfect in life. You know, I've been lucky. I had a very good, you know, example from my parents. They were married nearly 50 years before my dad passed away, you know, and we were together all the time. Spent a lot of time with my family. You know, when I look back at the photos, there's not been a week where I hadn't spent time with my family. My kids have seen my parents. You know, we're having dinners every Friday. Every Friday, always used to go to my parents' house, regardless of what was going on. I don't care how busy I was. I would end up at my parents' house on a Friday because I needed to touch base with family. And I thought it was super important to show the kids that's how that I believe that you guys should continue as well.
Sure.
You know?
So they've been brought up right and there's been effort put into them. It shows in the child's manners, behavior, communication skills, human skills, life skills, problem solving, puzzle solving. Isn't that life? Aren't we all, even right now, to death, that we're solving problems or dealing with problems, with issues?
No one's
living
got a
life?
script, you know. It's like day-to-day things change. Things, you know, like I said, people die, people, you know, are born. It's like things can throw you completely off your game. Mental strength. Dealing with children, especially really young ones, you have to lose that guilt factor as well. A lot of people feel guilty that they say no or that they don't give their kids this. And for me, I don't have that mum guilt. The only thing I'd ever have mum guilt about is if I hurt my kid, you know, and that's what I would never do that. Some people feel guilty for not giving them that sweet, not giving them that.
Whatever, the phone.
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Why does an 7, 8-year-old need a mobile phone? Even when it comes down to simple things like diet, you know, the junk that you see some parents putting into their children. You've got little tiny kids drinking Coca-Cola, eating crisps. I see them on the way to school, eating crisps and drinking Coke on the way to school at 8 something in the morning.
Sneakers.
Who's buying them that? It's the parents who buy it. And then but the kid wants to listen. They only know what you teach them. They only see what you put in front of them. If your cupboard is not full of junk, your fridge is not full of fizzy drinks, they don't have access to it. Exactly. You are the decision maker. You know what I mean? And not only that, you need to teach your kids a level of respect and decency from very, 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 very young. You ask before you just go and grab anything. You speak up, you know, you use your voice confidently. You have respect for elders. You look in the eye. You say hello to people. All these little things make a massive difference in how that child grows up and how they view things.
They will gain confidence by doing these things, don't they?
100%. And then they start to understand why. You know, you're a little bit out of shape, you're unhealthy, you can't run, you can't do that. There are simple connections for that. You know, you're either eating junk, you're not moving, your parents are not taking you to the park, you know, they're feeding you Coca-Cola and chips and takeaway food. It's convenience. This is the lifestyle that we're moving into now, is technology and convenience. You swipe or click a finger and it's done. Impatient. We're an impatient city.
Very. Very
Really,
impatient,
everybody
yeah.
wants everything now, and that also boils down to, you know, when you think about what parents expect from us as coaches. You know, we don't have a magical solution. You know, I would love to be able to, you know, hold a training session, cover a certain topic, and by the end of it, everyone's got it. It's not the way it is.
No,
One
that's
child
right.
may understand it completely and, you know, follow through and pick everything up, and the other 10 or 12, it went over their heads completely because they just don't have the focus, you know, the mental ability to actually concentrate on that little task or see the detail, take it apart.
Let's talk about your coaching. So when you started coaching, there's, to be honest, I've been coaching for a long time, and especially at grassroots football or so men's football, you don't see many female coaches.
Oh no.
How do you feel, or how were you welcomed into the so-called men's football, I suppose they call it, what they call it, kids football, whatever you want to call it.
It's definitely a male-dominated sport, let's not lie, 100%.
Well, the question is, when you supposedly went into the matches or oppositions, I know there is a lot of, so if I may say this, old school coaches around still.
Yeah.
How did they react to you?
Oh my goodness. In the very first match I turned up with, I went to go and, you know, look for the coach and shake the coach's hand. The guy just looked me up and down. I just walked off. He didn't even acknowledge me as a
They
coach.
didn't know.
It doesn't help that I'm like 5 foot something as well.
Yeah.
It's only when he heard my mouth and he saw how I was navigating the pitch and
Well,
obviously
how was your
coaching the
team playing,
boys.
yeah.
They played well. I think they won that match.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think.
Did he shake your hand at the end?
Oh, the end, yeah, of course.
Oh,
Of course he did. He came up to me and shook my hand, and I was
At
like,
least
oh,
he manned
okay.
up to
Yeah,
it.
he
It's
kind
good.
of, you know, that chip on the shoulder melted a little bit,
Yeah,
and
it's
he
good.
realised. And it was quite funny. Then the next season, you know, we played very similar teams in the Harrow Youth League. So the next season, I remember seeing this guy's face. He came straight up to me and shook my hand. I was like,
Yeah, so you earned your respect.
Yeah, I did. It wasn't easy. It is a very, what's the word I'm looking for? High energy, very aggressive, very dominating environment. Unless you have a very strong nature and a backbone, it's not for you. Let's just be honest. I'm a tough character. I always have been tough. I mean, my dad's nickname for me was Hardface when I was growing up because I'd take anyone on. It was quite funny. Not in a silly way, but, you know, I'd love to challenge and argue back, and, you know, so why not, basically? Why can't I do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Who
good.
says I can't?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you that I can, and I will. And that's pretty much most of the way that I've navigated through my adult life. It's like, yeah, challenge me and let's see who's going to come out on top.
Shouldn't that's the way for all of us.
Oh, it should be
It should be
for
the
all
way,
of us.
isn't it? You know.
And a lot of people
Prove
have
me
that
wrong.
fear. Yeah.
Then hands up. I mean, shake your hand. Why not? You
And
know, so
I always say to the kids as well, even my kids and the football kids, it is not a problem to make a mistake. What you do after is what counts.
Yeah.
Can you learn from what you did
Can you
wrong?
react from
And
this?
can you turn it around and do it better next time? If you just make a mistake and give up, that little bit of your confidence is going to chip and chip and chip. Every time you make a mistake and you give up on an offer, you just shrink.
Yeah.
And then until you're nothing, you know? And it's like, no, make that mistake, figure out what went wrong, do it differently next time, do it better, you know?
If I may ask this question, do you think, is there any sort of, have you felt or said anything that I don't know about, discrimination against female coaches, or why you in the
It's actually
male's game?
from opposition parents more than anything. I've had a couple of women, a couple of mothers from opposition parents, you know,
Oh, wow.
with foul language at me. They're like, who do you think she is? And I'm like, you're gonna see when when our kids take your kids and turn them inside out, and we're gonna go home winning this match. We'll talk about it after. It's got to the point where there was nearly fisticuffs in a couple of matches.
Why do you think that is?
They take it so, I don't know what it is.
So shouldn't a female should be supporting a female
That's
coach,
what
isn't
you
it?
would
They
think.
should be cheering you on.
That's
isn't
what you would think. It's only as, like I said, as I've progressed through, you know, the set of coaching badges that I've done, and through different levels of football, from just playing at basic level to, you know, being recognised a little bit in the JPL area and going to certain tournaments and other pitches. It's like that this face, she's around.
Yeah.
You know, they've seen me, they've seen the team that we were like. That is a very, very serious, high competitive team, and you know, when you're not there, then you give me that trust and let me run that team. And it's like, okay, and they can see that, you know, although I wouldn't do the same level that you would do with that team, I can still get really good results out of them. And it's like, you know, it's only then that people take their hats off and they're like, all right, a little bit of respect there where it's due. But it is a shame because, you know, we should be building each other up and I know there are a lot of people who would love to get into it, but it's because of that silly discrimination that they don't take that chance.
Yeah.
I remember, because my brother-in-law was with me at that in the beginning when Adam was training. He was doing some university stuff, and I remember he volunteer coached for you. And I sat with him one evening and said, I wonder what Shakir would say if I actually went to him and said that I want to become a coach. Would he laugh at me? And Michael was like, I don't know, but I'm going to go and ask him. So he went up to you and he asked you, and then you were like, yeah, tell her to come down and jump on board. And I was like, me? Really? So I was so excited,
Have you enjoyed the journey?
Oh
so
man,
far?
I've loved it. It's probably, honestly, in all the 20-something years that I've been working and doing all these different things, education, whatever it is, this has got to be the thing that touches me the most. Honestly, working with kids, seeing results, seeing confidence.
You love the game.
Oh man, I love the game. I may not be great at it myself. I'm old now. I'm past it. I used to play more than 20-something years ago. But obviously, watch any football match that I can possibly watch. I'm on match of the day until 2 o'clock in the morning, catching highlights and stuff like that. Anything that I haven't seen, I'm like, need to catch it. I'm fully up to news of what's going on, and I love the game.
Which team just spoke?
I'm a Gooner, Arsenal.
Oh, Arsenal.
Yeah,
Sterling came to Arsenal.
yeah, just recently, new signing. Yeah, let's see how that
Not
pans
bad.
out.
It's been a good window. For
It
Arsenal,
has.
isn't
It's
it?
been decent. It's been
It's
decent.
a good. Was it 3 signings? I think.
Yeah,
3 signings.
this season.
A lot of the academy boys left, so yeah.
I'll tell you what was a really good move for Arsenal last season. Declan Rice. That he is one of those kind of players that seem to just gel, and he makes, he's a playmaker. Do you know what I mean? He gets in there, gets involved. He's always involved in one of the goals, one way or another. He's got heart as well. Never really thought much about him when he was at West Ham, to be honest with you. But now that he's at Arsenal, I'm like, yeah, I'm watching this guy, and I'm thinking, you know what? He's connected a lot of players.
Yeah, because Arteta has pushed them up a bit,
Yeah.
hasn't he? He's not playing that defensive role anymore.
No,
He's playing a bit
more
of
forward,
box
exactly.
to box type of thing.
Yeah, even when he's whipping in them corners and whatnot, he's great.
I suppose this could be a season, huh?
I hope so. I hope so. It's got to be one point. You always get to that point where they're all the way up, and then they just don't make it.
So let me ask you, what's the highest point been for you as a coach?
Ooh, I think it was very likely when I got my own team. Obviously we coach development. Those children are here just to sort of like have fun, get a bit fit, and then we obviously see levels of development, whether they're going to be able to make it into a league team. I had a child with me, Mason.
Let's not name the children.
Oh, sorry. So anyway, I've had a kid with me since, cut that one out. But I've had a kid with me in development for ages, and when he asked to trial for the league team, I remember you said, bring him in one day, and he was actually playing a year up in my under-10s, and he was technically an under-9. When I first started working with this kid, zero confidence, really nervous, jittery kid, didn't really speak. And I'd say a few months, with working with him and really paying a lot of attention to him and, trying to build him up. And then to see him in the next season play, being under 9, in an under 10 team, and actually, weaving in and out, taking shots, when you see a child like that and you notice it's massive for this kid.
Yeah.
It's massive for that parent to see their child come out of that shell they've been trying to break for ages.
0 to 100.
Oh my goodness, that's one of them. There's quite a few. That's one of them. I went through a massive phase as well in, I think it was my second season as well, where my team was just getting undefeated. It was ridiculous. We were just smashing, match after match after match. It was like it was almost getting boring to a point where I was like, we're going to win again, lads. Yeah, let's go home winners, It was great. And then with your team, where my son plays with Adam, massive highlight is when they made it to the JPL Nationals and they actually took the whole trophy. That was when they were under 8. That was an incredible experience, leaving the rectory where we play as our home ground, playing all those matches against all those other teams.
So yeah, Middlesex central venue. So,
Yep.
So we obviously became champions.
Champions at
Middlesex,
home.
And then we went to
Rugby, wasn't it? Was it rugby?
Rugby, yes.
Yeah, and we
Somewhere
played.
there, we went there to the fight
That was
nationals,
incredible. To not only, top the whole Middlesex table, but to actually take it nationally and top everyone who topped their local leagues. That for me was, goosebumps, honestly. Yeah, brilliant, man. Watching the kids as well, see that. Incredible.
So just to ask you, now you know the coaching side.
Yep.
Obviously, you're still a parent, still a mother of your child. I can testify to this. You have never asked me for any favors or
I don't get involved in your
interference
coaching. Nope.
or positions, time,
Nope.
where to play, when to play, how to play, whatever. And the kid does it on his own merit and ability. And the way I give opportunity to everyone. And if you're good enough, you're old enough, you could play. As long as you being able to perform at the highest level. So what do you see from the other parent side? So I mean, obviously I have to deal with a lot for different teams and everyone. What do you see? I mean, they can't. I try to explain. There's a difference standing on the line where parents stand from a like touch line. It's the game seems even different speed, but then when you're actually a coach, it's at different speed for you to see.
Intense.
But when you're playing, I mean, when you play, I don't know, some of the parents might not play the game because they can't understand it.
I would say
they don't understand it.
Yeah.
But when you're playing at the highest level, then it's at different speed. But we're adults, remember that. They're kids. For them, that speed is really fast.
Yes.
For us, it might seem slow because we're adults.
Yeah.
We see things smaller
of course.
because we're taller and bigger, whatever. So for them, it's really at high speed. So why some parents don't understand this and can't get their head around the whole concept, you know, and they only see it as their own way. What do you think? Because you see, my child is too young to play, so I'll probably come to that point to understand that. As a coach, I can't understand it. Why can they not grasp it? Why can they not accept the reality or being honest with themselves? Because what I see, they see, but I see something else and they see something else. What do you think? Because you're in between both,
like
isn't it?
Fence,
so you've been there to where parents stand. You sometimes go even stand with them and talk with them, and then you come to the coaching side, and then obviously your son is involved as well. What do you see?
It's tough, to be honest with you. A lot of people, believe it or not, don't even live in the real world. They've got this crazy expectation of, you know, everyone's son is a little mini Ronaldo or Messi, and it's like, guys.
Well, I mean, for everyone, their son is special. It's a gift from God. Of course. So, but you know, when it comes to actual football, you need to have some sort of skills and ability and capability and some talent.
A lot of it's also down to the child's maturity, you know.
That's true.
100%. Can that child get knocked down and get back up again and dust it off? You know, like I said, nothing wrong with making the mistake. What are you going to do next? Are you going to crumble? Are you going to crash? Is the parents going to run, oh, my baby, you know, that kind of thing. And it's like, you do see that a lot. You've seen parents storm on the pitch and go to pick up their child.
Or running after the referee.
Trying to fight the other coach.
It's
like,
so
calm down.
That kid kicked my kid. Why?
You know, it's really
it's a
hard.
contact sport.
Even us two as coaches on a Saturday during the JPL, man, we get emotional, don't we, sometimes, you know? And it's like, it's hard, you know, to not get, so it's like, it's that self-control, you know, and realising that that's not going to help the child in that moment, you know. If you start panicking and putting that mad pressure, yes, we give them instructions, yes, we have expectations of even the kids, because you're essentially, that's their little job. We were out, there was a woman running down the pitch trying to fight a grown man, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? Calm down. What is this showing the kids? It's supposed to be fun first and foremost, you know, and it's like, you can't even stay calm yourself, but then you expect your child to behave in a certain way. It's impossible. They learn, for example. Do you know what I mean? So if they see you, you know, calm, enjoying it, they want to look back at and see a happy smiling mum or a happy smiling dad. They don't want to see you having an argument with somebody else on the sideline. It's mental. So it's a lot to do with the parents' emotional stability as well as the kids. It all filters down, like I said. If you're calm and you're cool, the kid will likely be calm and cool. If you're a panicker or you get aggressive or, you know, you throw your dummy out of the pram really quickly, then I can guarantee you 90% chance that your child's going to be exactly the same way. They copy what they see.
Correct. Parents are correct.
That's it.
And most of them want to please their parents as well. So they want to do things what they say. I mean, we had in the past parents like shouting shoot all the time.
When they know we're not even in the right position, exactly.
Dribble everyone.
Five players in front of you, you're going to dribble.
If you dribble the whole team, then the scout will like it. I mean, I'm a scout myself.
No,
It's a
I'm not going to
team
pick.
sport. Yeah.
Exactly. So then
It's a
you
team
should
sport.
you should pick an individual sport
Yep.
because it's a team sport and you're making bad choices. There is someone right in front of you. He's been put in a position to be in front of you. So let's say supposedly you're a midfielder,
Yep.
and there's a striker there. He's on playing that ball so he
Yep.
could do his job. But no, you want to dribble all the defense and then score
lose
yourself.
or lose the ball right at the last second when you could have just
Exactly.
tapped it to someone.
Yeah.
We've seen that
So
so many times.
choices, good decision making, mental sort of strength, if we call it.
And calmness as well, you know. When
Confidence, I
I'm,
suppose,
yeah,
that
100%.
comes under calmness.
100%.
Yeah.
Adam's always asking me, how can you do your job so calmly? And I'm like, man, you know, sometimes I've got like 15 different dishes going at the same time, literally. And he's like, Mum, how do you know that that's not going to burn? That's got that spice. And that's, I'm like, because I'm calm.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking calmly.
Exactly.
And I've got some kind of a system. The minute you start panicking, I guarantee you I'm going to flap that casserole down.
Burn everything.
That one's getting burnt. I burn my hand and I just give up. So a lot of it is just, what is it they say? Woosah. You know, and it's like, just chill. Take a breath, man. Honestly, take a breath. It's children's sport at the end of the day. And the sport that we see at grassroots level is nothing like what you're going to see adults playing at Premier. It's nothing like it. It's a world away from what you're seeing when you're shouting at the TV on a Saturday.
No, I mean, it's good. In the next 10 years, the game is changing anyway.
Yeah.
It's, what we looks like right now is not going to be like this in 10 years.
Even since we've been, you know,
we've
it's
evolved
changed
3-4
already.
times.
Headers, kick-ins from the line, all things are changing.
I mean, since when we were kids, I mean, think about it, what the game looked then to what it is
Goalkeepers
now.
never used to really use their feet as well.
No,
Now
it's
look, it's
just
sweeper keepers. Yep, loft it
Up in the air, you know?
Yeah.
I hated it. I just didn't want to play up in there. I wish I was a kid now so I could play on the floor. Everyone's copied Pep's idea,
Yeah,
you know,
you
so play
see, it's that
tick-a-tack
quick pass,
kind of
tick-a-tack,
pass from the
exactly.
back, you know, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so coming back to the point of the parents, so they see it from their point of view, I suppose, and not from their kid point of view or the coach's point of view.
This is an interesting thing. We know these children differently from the way that you know these children as a parent. Do you know what I mean? Same as how a school teacher knows their child slightly differently from how a parent will know their child.
Yeah.
They see the children in different environments doing different things. You know what your team is capable of during a match. Those parents haven't got a clue.
No.
They really haven't. And even me as
They
well.
don't.
That's why I kept my mouth shut as a parent. I'm like, listen, I'm not getting involved in this. I never once said, yeah, coach, I think you should make Adam do it. Never once, because I'm not the one who's in that moment with them psychologically, physically, tactically. That's not me doing that right now. So I'm not going to get involved in that, you know? And it's the same way. Don't come into my kitchen and start sprinkling things on my food.
Yeah.
I will slap you. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to happen. You stay in your lane, I'll stay in my lane, and everyone is cool. You know, we can recommend things. I mean, even when it comes to children and safeguarding and stuff, you know, not even just that, health, and, you know, we're always recommending things to parents, you know, with the insoles for the shoes and, you know, little things like that that are going to help their kid, you know, make sure you bring water, you know, for goodness sake, little things like that. Some parents
them
don't even
some
give their water.
breakfast.
Thank you. How many kids have turned up hungry to a
Make
football
them
match?
sleep.
Thank
They
you.
come tired.
Why are they going to parties 11 o'clock at night and then coming to the match? And
Some stay up till 2. The
Yeah.
kids don't lie.
No.
They tell you the
I
truth.
know.
And I ask them always. I said, did you sleep last night? No, we were out at my auntie's till 2. I
Yep.
was like, whoa.
Yeah, and then you're here 9 o'clock in the morning ready to kick off.
8 years old, 9,
Oof.
10 years old,
It's too
12 years
much.
old. Why were you awake till 2?
No, my lot have a solid routine, and it works in the house for all of us, because I need time to switch off as an adult as well, so I can reset for the next day and be the best that I can be. What's the point of me leaving my kids stay up late so that I'm finished, I'm knackered? By the time I've cooked, cleaned, bathed them, done this, sorted myself out, we're talking 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I've got to reset myself at 7 o'clock in the morning and go hard again. It's impossible. So, you know, getting that routine with the kids, and like I said, that tough love. Forget the guilt. The guilt will go eventually. Oh, they want to stay up half an hour, they're going to scream and cry. I don't care. Go to bed.
So when you talk about the guilt, when our parents were tough with us, let's be honest, they were
man.
tough. So, I mean, I was born in the 80s, let's say this.
Same.
So those things were different back then. So what do you think of it? I thank them for it.
Oh man, I loved it.
They taught them everything.
I used to.
Imagine they were like the way they are now. What would become of me then? I'm thinking, it's kind of scary,
It
right?
is scary.
You think, you're
Look,
like, wow, if
what's
they were
gonna
not
happen in
tough
10 years'
and they
time?
gave us everything on the
Yep.
plate, what would we be then?
You know,
it scares me to think what's going to happen with the generation that we're dealing
snowflake
with
generation
now.
coming. Trust.
I'm telling you, how are these kids going to actually grow up, get careers, do hard jobs? You know,
They're not going to do what.
Oh my god!
They want Ronaldo's, Messi's lifestyle for doing nothing.
Nothing.
Sitting on a couch.
Exactly, and swiping right.
Or just talking in TikTok.
Yeah, of course. I've got to do their little dance videos or whatever it is that these trends are. They drive me crazy. It's true, you know. And it's scary. It's a very, very, very scary reality. My mum was quite quiet and soft. My dad was militant, but in the best way. We still had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. He took us swimming. I used to play football with my dad as well. Me and my brother and my dad used to go kick about. I remember spending a lot of quality time with both parents, you know. But my dad did not take rubbish from anyone. Sit down. Yes, sir. You know.
Yeah.
Literally.
That discipline was
Hell
there.
yeah. And it wasn't until he died in his, I'm in my 30s, my dad's still going, be quiet. I'm like...
But that was respect
Of
then.
course.
As you grow into an adulthood,
Yep.
and that you respect them. Like, I respect my
Yep.
mom. Whatever she says,
Yep.
I do.
You don't argue back.
I don't know. I mean, she says it's done.
Yep.
Yes, mom. No problem. I do it out of love and respect,
Yep.
even though she's at an age she could be wrong. She might be wrong.
But it's going to make her feel
good
good.
and
So why are
happy.
you going to
So I
upset
say,
her?
you know what?
Let it go.
Life is too short.
Let it go.
Let it go and do it. Make her happy.
Of course.
So coming back to scouting, Nabs, it's a tough job.
It's a tough It's
well,
tough on
you
both
know,
ends, you
like,
know.
not only Little Tigers, all these. So we're a club bridging between grassroots and pro academies. We're in between somewhere there, and we get sort of grassroots kids, development kids, and turn them into some sort of footballers, and then send them for pre-academies, and scouts come and trials and stuff like that, and see if they get signed.
Yep.
And parents tend to think like we have 15 kids, 12 kids, 10 kids in a team, they're all gonna get signed.
Yeah.
And especially when one or two
Yeah.
do get signed or go to pre-academy,
They must be on the
or
same
go to
level.
academy or
Yep.
get a trial somewhere, and then they think, why him, why not my son?
Yeah.
Because they're in the same team. What do you think of that? I mean, why do parents think like that? I mean,
You know, I think it's literally that. It's literally as simple as that. Why him and not mine? Do you know what I mean? It's as basic and as, actually, sorry to say this word, it's as stupid as that. It's like, look, my son's been scouted several times through very top level clubs. Don't want to name them, but top
Premier
level
League
clubs.
clubs,
Premier League clubs.
yeah.
Yeah, let's be honest, quite a few of them.
yeah.
And he's been to several trials, but the first trial he went to was with a very, very top Premier League club, and he was like a deer in the headlights. You know, he just didn't know what to do. He was so nervous.
He was not ready. Yes,
He wasn't ready, and they also put him in a position that he doesn't play in, and that freaked him out a little bit. And then since then, it kind of put him a little bit on the back foot. But that only is when it comes to going outside to be, you know, to be invited to other scouting events. When it comes to how he plays for his team, how he plays in tournaments, he's a killer. You know what I mean? He's a very, very, very good player. Every kid will peak at a different time as well. Look, you could be amazing at 7 and rubbish at 11. You could be amazing at 11 and rubbish at 18.
Absolutely.
We don't know.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like with life, you know, good days, good years, bad years. We don't know what the
So
scout's
they've got
looking
their
for.
growth to come.
Yes.
They've got sort of puberty to
Yeah.
hit. They've got
Again, emotional
growth spurt,
maturity.
maturity.
Some of the kids that we deal with, you've got one 9-year-old who's like a grown-up and another one who's still a baby.
So
And
we
you're like,
have
wow.
them. I have
we
them
have
in
them.
the
We
team.
see it all
One
day
is
long.
taller than me,
Having tantrums and crying like a 2-year-old. And you're like,
and then the other one is tiny.
yeah.
You're
And that's
like,
it.
wow.
Physically different, mentally different. And it's
Yeah.
like the parents don't, they, like I said, they know their child. They don't know all of the children like we
children.
do when we see them being
We
scouted.
do, yeah.
We know that, I'm not going to name again any names, but you know that the right winger on this team, he loves to run off the pitch and dribble by himself. He doesn't like to listen. You know that the midfielder can get a little bit panicky or whatever it is. We know that the goalkeeper sometimes gets bored. We notice all these little quirks about the kids. And it's like, because we watch them in training, we watch them in matches. When you're on the sideline, most of the time you're watching your own son or watching a goal happen. We're watching every play, every kid, the whole game.
And then there's tactics,
Yeah.
analysing players
Yeah,
individually.
we're
as a
even
team,
watching the other players.
and then doing phase of play,
Yeah.
the opposition, and what they're doing, what their tactics,
Yeah,
what's their
100%.
formation, what's their position.
Right, why did
What
they
is-
remove that player and put that one up
put
against
that one
it?
up, and what's
Right,
the difference?
and we
And then
see this,
is he
they
going to make
don't.
any impact against my left back,
Yep.
or what is
Now
he
they've
doing?
gone and put a giant against our smallest player tactically. You know,
Now they're
they've done
playing
it
it
on
up in the
purpose.
air. So
now
what do we
we've got to
do now?
rethink about
So-
what we're going to do.
But they don't understand.
No,
that,
they
so-
don't.
that's
And
the sad
again,
thing. thing. I
with
think.
all due respect to all the parents, like I said, I was one. Yeah, I came from that background. I didn't come to Tigers to jump straight into coaching. I jumped into Tigers as a parent who wanted my son to play football. It's because of the way that I saw the way you coached, the way that Scherze coached. I was like, I need to do this.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to be a part of this, but never would I step on the toes of a professional who knows how to do their job. It's not my place. And like I said, with all due respect to parents, the parents just need to support the coaches, support the kids, step back and enjoy the game. Have a cup of tea and a Kit Kat and just chill. Just chill out. Enjoy it.
As I say, if the kids got talent,
Yep, it will show
you
one
could be
day.
in the park.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many scouts. I'm a scout.
We don't know who
There's
they are.
hundreds of scouts everywhere. I mean, I told all my network, all my connection, you find me a talent, call me.
Yep.
I'm looking for talent.
Yep.
I'm looking for a bowler. I'm looking for the next best thing. Everyone is.
Well, you just signed one, so let's go.
So I mean, we do have a few more, but I'm just saying, everyone is looking. So why panic?
Yep.
Why be scared?
And that's that.
And why jump the ship and say, look, it didn't work here. Let me go somewhere else. Why pay hundreds of pounds to 1v1 sessions and sort of on false kind of thing? If you do 20 sessions with me,
You're going to get to the next stage.
then I'm going to take you to the next stage, and then hopefully
we've seen it, we've heard it all.
You know, so I'm thinking, I worked with this kid for 2 years. If I haven't improved him, Pep himself can't improve him. No arrogance here, but I'm telling you the truth. I taught him everything there is to know. If he's not improving, well, maybe there's something missing, you know.
It's the sense of the parents' entitlement, the kids' entitlement, and you know, for example, we're so impatient. And like I said to you before, we're so impatient in London. We want everything now, today, or yesterday. Don't make me wait. I'm not going to sit at a green traffic light for more than half a second before I start honking my horn.
Yes.
This is how it goes. Nobody can queue up in the shop.
London, to be honest.
It's horrible, and this is the mentality that everyone's got now.
Yeah.
Why is it not happening now? That's what parents want to know. And it's like, listen, everybody has their moment. You don't know what the plan is for your son. Exactly. He may be the next blooming brain surgeon that's going to save the world, or you don't know that, and you're here, making him do X amount of hours of football and making him so tired, mentally drained, but he could be the next scientist. Yeah. You don't know that. So it's like, just relax and let it go the way. If it's meant to be, it will be. You know, like I said, I got upset the first time Adam got released from, the first trial that he went to. Then he went to a second one on the phone. When he got released, Then I was like, you know what? It's not going to happen. But I tell you, when it does happen, it's going to happen big.
Yeah.
If he wants it.
He will be ready.
100%.
Mentally, and that club will be the right club for him.
Right.
And it's going to all come together.
100%. Imagine if he starts at the top now and then he gets a little bit lazy, it gets a bit worse. He's just going to get chucked down the ranks until he ends up on the rubbish pile.
You could get released at the age of 16.
Yep. Just before that.
Get scholarship.
Yep.
You worked for a club for 10 years.
Yep.
Or you could get released, let's say, at 18. Well, it happens. So then what?
Exactly.
What do you do then?
100%.
So these are the questions. So parents think, oh, if my son didn't make it in the under-9s, didn't get signed, panic mode.
That was
just get desperate, start running around.
Did you notice that at the end of that season, by the end of the under-9 season, it's like everybody was desperate for scouting. It's like somebody pushed something in the water to tell everyone that this is the only time ever to get scouted. And if you don't, then the world is ending.
The world ended, yeah.
Oh my God, what the hell was that? I felt it. You could literally feel it in
negative.
The air.
So, from what we know, if you have the right parents, the right players, and the right coach, you could go far.
Anything's possible in this game.
Correct.
With that combination.
So with that combination, but do you need that combination? Yes.
Yes.
What if the parents dislike each other?
That's not going to help.
And then what is it going to turn the kids into? Are they going to like each other because the parents don't get on? Do you think they will tell the kids to not get on with each other?
Listen, 100%.
I think they will.
Yeah, 100%. Because like I said, with your JBL team, Lorna Adams in, we were like that. All of us. We were at each other's houses doing Christmases, birthdays, barbecues, going to Ninja Warrior together, and doing all these crazy things. It's only when there was certain, changes in dynamics that, for things that may have happened, somebody may have left or whatever it was, that you started to notice that the parents were separating a little bit, and it was like, okay, well, this one's sitting over there, this one's sitting over there, that one's not talking to that one, and it's like, but look at how it's affecting the kids. Even their confidence is going now, because before we were side by side, shoulder to shoulder, standing there at the sideline, like ready for war for the kids.
Yeah.
And now it's like, a little bit not so
together.
Yeah. And you can feel it. We can feel it as coaches.
Yeah,
That if we can feel it, the kids must be able to feel it. You know. So it's little things like that that make a massive difference.
Do you think parents give instruction to players, the kids, and say, go out there and do
100%.
this, don't listen to your coach,
100%.
or don't listen to
They've
your
even
teammate,
told me personally.
and go and do it.
They've even, from my team of the last season, I've been told by saying, yeah, but my dad told me to do that. And I'm like,
No.
Your dad's not your coach. You know, your dad doesn't even play football.
I mean, kids tell me all the time the same thing. It says
it's madness.
The sad scenario was that last season, one of the kid told me, good kid, honest kid, he said, Coach, I want to tell you something. Okay, go on then. He says, I'm a defender. You play me in defense. I quite like it. I'm happy here to do that job. But then my dad wants me to score goals. So he's a defender, and the dad wants him to go all the way there and score a goal for him. Okay? And he said, so when I do go up, like bomb forward and go, and then the opposition obviously going to exploit that position, gap, and then we concede because of him. And he said, so I'm stuck in between. I never get to score. I never get to defend.
Go back and defend.
So you tell me, what should I do, Coach? So
and again,
I felt for the kid.
Yeah. And at that age, that's too much to process.
Pressure. That's a lot
it's too
pressure.
much. How do they know? You're pulling me in half.
Does he listen to the coach, or does he listen to his mom and dad?
And like I said, with that level of,
And then if he was a striker or a winger or central attacking midfielder, then yes, that makes sense.
Of course, you're pressing, you're forward.
You're going up and down. You're right back or left back or centre back, and they expect you to take it.
Then you leave the keeper exposed, and they do a little 1-2 boom.
But then does that mean the parents don't give a shit or don't care about the team?
I think it's the first one. They don't really care about the team. They just want to see their son shine. They want to shout their son's name and get his number shirt, recognised, and make a big hype about him in case there's a scout looking somewhere from the sideline. Look, that's my boy. You know what I mean? And it's like, but listen. We've never played like that at Tigers. We have had a strong emphasis on teamwork. Teamwork. From the back to the front, you work together. There's been times where our goalkeepers lobbed it right forward, scored goals. There's been times where our goalkeepers pinned it right to the right winger, and the right wingers just tapped it in. It can be simple like that. The back players can still score. They can still assist majorly. It's like not all of the glory is in shooting that goal, and that's that mentality does my head in.
Whoever scores,
they're the hero.
He's the hero.
Listen,
but
I'm the opposite.
The person who does that assist, the person who actually keeps the clean sheet,
right? Thank you.
The person who sweats to defend for that team. These are my heroes.
Those same here. I've got ultimate respect for centre back, right back, left back, keeper.
You can score. Well, if the defenders or midfielders refuse to pass to the striker, can you score then? No. So they could go themselves.
Of course.
so the thing is, then if you don't assist, if you don't get fed by them or get assist by them, by the midfielders or your teammates, so then you're not going to be heroes. So sometimes I even seen they do the tap-ins, and they get all the glory instead of all that hard work, the slide tackling and all the
going through a wall of like three players, left, right, turning,
and passing it through to them. That gets unnoticed.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy, yeah.
But not with us though. First, we're usually like, yes, man. We will congratulate the kid who did the work, and then we'll be like, right, nice goal. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's so important.
I think parents say that individual play or dribble more or often, so you get scouted. Do you think that's the
no,
I have?
That does my head in, because most of the time these kids are doing it with their head down. And they've run so far off the pitch that you're like, you do realise that you passed your own corner flag because you were too busy dribbling, and you've gone off the pitch by yourself, you know, or you've gone head down, started dribbling, you've got yourself into a situation where it's three of them, you're boxed in. What are you going to do now? You're not even in a position to pass now because your lines are blurred. You've got no one that you can see, you know, not even that. Probably people don't even want to assist you now because you've been so selfish. They're like, go and get knocked out by three boys then. Knock yourself out. Do you know what I mean? It's like some people do that. I've seen it even in my matches where there's been like a selfish player here or there. They've decided that they want to dance and dribble. The teammates are like, go on then, wait for him to get fouled. He's going to get fouled, and then boom, he'll get taken down. And it's like, we told you. You know, you put yourself in that position not on purpose.
It's important.
It is important. You've got people here to rely on.
Isn't it? It's a team game. It's a contact sport. So you have to use your initiative.
And you know what? Seeing what I've seen with Adam, you know, over the last few years as a goalkeeper, stroke, centre back, right back, like I said, newfound. I always have respect for keepers, like I said, because of my dad's position. But you know, the newfound respect for seeing it on a weekly basis from my son now, basically trying to save the team. That little goal difference, especially when it comes to tournaments and stuff like that, where it's like 1-1 or 2-1, and you're like, you need to level up or you need to, you know, defend.
No, the penalty saves.
Oh man, listen,
winning
those penalty saves is always something that, you know, your heart is in your throat at that point, and you're like, that is an incredible thing to do, you know, to take it for the team, and it's hard as well.
Do you understand? Obviously, you're a coach now with experience, and do you understand the importance of goalkeeper?
Oh hell yeah!
Because what I seen throughout the years, parents respect keepers the least.
Oh, stupid. Sorry,
everyone goes from the other way.
Yeah,
strikers first,
and then filter backwards.
Yeah, backwards. Exactly.
I'm the opposite. You know? Listen, you start strong from the back,
and now you're a coach.
And then
congratulations. Now you're a coach.
You start strong.
Now
from
you're
the
coaching.
Back, right.
So there you go. Parent will talk to me the other way around.
No. Listen, like I said, from the time you've seen the keeper make a goal or make an assist to make a goal, but you can't see the striker defending or saving a goal, you know, flip it around like that. And I've also said it to Adam 1,000,001 times. Imagine you've got a big square, it's your goal, a big rectangle, it's your goal. You've got to stop one little tiny dot from coming into any zone in that goal. That's a massive hard thing to do. Whereas with a striker's point of view, you've got to get that little thing in a big net. Look at it the other way around. You know, that level of concentration, you know, the fear as well. Imagine you've got some big boy running towards you, another one running on the wing, and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to get pounded. He'll come out head first, you know, feet first, whatever it is. And I'm like, it takes a certain level of bravery and slightly cuckoo to be a goalkeeper.
I mean,
honestly,
as you've seen it right now, goalkeeper is becoming the most important position in football worldwide.
Do you know what?
Because he's the extra man now.
Yeah, of course.
He's coming out with the ball, playing as an extra man.
I remember the last World Cup we were watching, and I can't remember who it was, but it's Poland versus another really good team. I can't, off the top of my head, it's just gone. And you know, Szczesny's the keeper for Poland. I remember Adam's in this Polish restaurant with his dad, and I'm there as well. And you know, it's penalties now, and everyone's crying. Adam's like, Szczesny. He started a whole chant in this whole place, and it's like, you know, the
doing it for the goalkeeper.
Exactly, everybody was hyping up this goalkeeper so crazy. And it was that World Cup, I believe, that you could really see the importance of defending and goalkeeping. They were getting a lot of Martinez, you know, massive recognition.
Won the World Cup.
Here we go.
It's like, they talk about Messi, but
listen, man, I forgot about Messi long time. Martinez was the man of the whole tournament for me, man. Honestly, brilliant goalkeeping. Yeah. But yeah, it's different to see, you know, things being flipped on their head.
Obviously, when you talk about coaching, the striker is the first defender, goalkeeper is the first attacker. Yep. And then if you flip it around, goalkeeper is the last defender and striker is the first defender. Yeah. So, I mean, but it's hard for parents or some people to understand or whatever.
But then that's the thing. It's like, look, if you really are dying to speak so much on the sideline, why don't you go and do a course? Educate yourself a little bit about it.
Why don't you educate your child at home?
Thank you.
Instead of shouting from the sideline on the pitch, why don't you just sit here and have a nice conversation for an hour with your child?
100%. I make Adam watch.
Get some phone YouTube video or a team like, you know, I don't know, Arsenal versus Chelsea or Man City, whatever. Show them. Say, look, this is what defender does. This was striker. Why don't they do that?
100%.
Instead of even in training, like screaming, you know, you should have passed. You should have shot. You should have ran with it. Leave him alone. Then make his own choices.
And that's another thing. These kids are losing that ability to think for themselves. Everything, like I said, is like put in front of them, given to them in their hands, or it's just, you know, dropped from the sky. It's like these kids are losing the ability to actually think for themselves because we don't put them in the position to do that. You know, and again, if they can't do it as a child, how are they going to grow up through the stages into adult life? You know, it's really, really tough. But for me, it's always engage that brain of yours, get it ticking. They say as a human, we use like something like 9% of the brain. You know, we're lucky. Do you
Most of us are 4 up to 7.
That's what I'm saying, and it's like, how about trying to light up a few more neurons in there and get it to 10%, 11%? You know, open that brain up a little bit. It's important.
As they say, defense wins you trophies. Strikers wins you matches.
There you go.
So if you don't have defense, you're not going to win no trophies.
100%. We've come home from trophies with clean sheets, completely clean sheets. It's crazy.
None, because 0 conceded.
None.
So the emphasis at Tigers is straight on that defense as well, not only attacking.
100%.
Because to make it pro, I would say Goalkeeper, that's a special position.
Yep.
No, it's not for everybody.
No,
it's
it's
a
not.
special.
100%.
It's a special person needed for that position. Mentally, physically,
Yep.
you need to have that attributes.
Yeah.
Fullbacks, right back, left back. This is not easy to make it as a footballer. It's a very difficult job, but you could make it more by playing in those positions. And then defensive midfielder, the number 6 role,
Yep.
is the most important role now in football. Rodri running the
Rodri,
game,
yeah.
Busquets running the
Yep,
game,
yep,
so forth. You could talk about so Makelele, position
Yep.
named after him. That pivot role is the most important role. If you have game understanding and you play in that role, but everybody wants to be a winger or striker or number 10
That
or
little
whatever
glory
number 8.
hunting, you know.
So going after it, going there. But those are extremely hard positions to make it in football.
And they
They're not
actually
easy.
do the least work on the pit in terms of minutes on the ball. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're getting tackled, you're getting
that's it.
pressurized. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really, really hard, and you've got to recover quickly as well. And it's like, you've seen, and I always say it to the boys that I'm dealing with as well, it's like, when you've been tackled, you make a mistake on the pitch, I expect you to be the first person to recover the ball. Why are you going to stand there like a tree?
So that transition period
Yeah.
has to be defending
Yeah,
transition period quick.
100%.
Like the pep rule, 5-second rule to
Yep,
get it back.
Get it back.
Get it
Don't
back,
just
go
stand there and
after
wait for someone else to be your hero.
it. Do your job
There
for
we
you.
go. There we
And
go.
I hate that lazy thing.
Same. And you see it a
that's
lot.
laziness. Because as a kid, supposedly everyone under 16 is a kid
Yep.
still. So if you see you lose a ball, why are you standing?
Yeah.
Chase it back. You
Yeah.
lost
You're
it.
just looking at the guy like, wow.
Wow, you go and get it for me. Give
Come
it
and
back
get
to me. No.
At least shut him down into another one of your teammates so
Yeah.
that he's got no options. 2v1, 3v1.
2v1, exactly.
Here we
So
go.
go and help
But
and,
they don't. They're
you know,
just like,
double
I've
up
lost
on
the
them.
ball, I've given up now. That's a mental strength thing as well.
Exactly.
Are you switched on enough to think, hang on a minute, I'm not going to get taken advantage of like that. I'm going to fight for it. So go and fight, go challenge.
And that's what one of the things that as a scout that I look for.
Yep.
Attributes. Can you do recovery runs?
Yep.
Do you do teamwork? Do you do actually
Yep.
defending? Do you have the actual motivation and to do some hard work and
Yep.
chase back?
And I know you've been putting a massive emphasis at the moment on how we're doing 1v1s, small-sided matches as well. It's because of that whole, like you said, running back, doing the work, recovering the ball back,
So with Tigers, we have this season particularly that we are changing our training methods slightly. The reason being is because, like we talked about before, that mental strength, decision making by kids, and as we grew up, we used to play with our friends in the parks,
on the
streets,
street, yep.
or in our
With
state.
stones and climbing trees.
So now you can't. If you live in a state, they have this
no
ball
ball
sign,
games. Oh
and
my
those kids are
gosh.
scared to come out
Yeah,
nowadays
yeah, yeah.
anyway to play. And parents won't allow them
Yeah.
anyway. So we used to do that, and now those were good for us because we made intelligence, decision making. We learned a lot. You played against a bigger guy who pushed you into the concrete, and you fell and got up again.
Yep.
So
Come
there
home
was resilient.
bleeding, black
Yeah,
and blue,
knees.
clothes all ripped up.
So you played until it was dark.
Yep.
So,
How many
and,
glasses I got broken because
so-
of all in the face.
Yeah, so I mean, these were the things. So now we're trying to bring that back because, as the study recently showed in Germany, that they worked a lot of tactical sort of phase of play type of things with kids in the academies, but they haven't allowed them the freedom as the Spanish way,
Yeah.
or the Spanish teams have proven, and even the female teams are, they do pretty well as well. So they have, so the tactical, the technical, and the physical attributes and the decision making is key to that football intelligence that they have, and then that comes from making correct choices and decisions and actually making it often and learning. So we're going to try to implement that into our training methods.
And we
as well,
see that, when we're doing like small-sided matches, it's like, you may have a 3 against 3 or a 4 against 3 little overload, whatever it might be, but you've got a kid who's got the ball, and then you've got 2 players completely blocked, and it's like they're just standing there. You're like, listen, I always say to the kids as well, think of it as a computer game, if you want to call it that. If you don't have that clear line of sight or that little bit of movement to be able to see that player, then you're not doing anything you're not doing anything to assist. How can he pass to you when you're blocked behind 2 other players?
Yeah.
Make
What's
a
the
move.
movement?
Where are you going? What's he going to do? Blast it through the wall and it's going to magically land on your feet? Move. Pass and move, pass and move.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of the drills that I've been trying to do at the moment as well. Pass and move. What is your next step?
Yeah.
Don't just think about this little kick that I'm going to do now. What are you going to do after you've released that ball and you're going to make yourself useful somewhere else? Yeah. You're not going to drop back and defend. Go forward, find a little space, get that pass. Yeah, it's that.
A lot, isn't it?
It's a lot. It's intense. It's intense. It really is. And again, the expectations from the parents when it's like, look, I'm dealing with your child. You deal with them at home, you feed them dinner. You don't see them 8 hours a day because they're at school. You see them on the weekend, maybe if you're not working or if they're not with a babysitter or auntie or uncle, whatever it is. We're seeing these kids in a very intense environment where we're watching them one-to-one or in small groups. And it's like, look, I'm telling this child to do this, go right. He's looking at me like, which was right or left? And I'm like, oh my God, this is your right hand. You're 10 years old. You don't know your left from your right.
Yeah.
This is what we're working with.
So where's the education?
How can we help these kids? So I'm trying to teach these kids little basic things like, for the love of God, put your hand like that. It's an L. That's left. Oh my gosh, it's that bad. I'm like, go left. And they're going right. I'm like, I can't do that. What can I do for you, Mum?
Exactly.
Can you see? Yeah? Next time you ask me why he's not getting played on the pitch, can you see why he's getting less minutes?
Yeah.
Because he's getting stressed out. He's a panicker. He doesn't have the basic, coordination factors. It's like, I would love to put your son on the pitch the whole match. But if I do that to him, it's going to destroy him. He's going to make so many mistakes.
They don't understand.
That he's going to crush and shrink.
Ruin his confidence.
There we go. And then he won't go back on the pitch again. He's done. He's done. Yeah.
But they don't get that.
They don't get that.
No, keep on playing him.
Push.
Keep playing him. Pressurize him.
There are certain kids that don't even want to play football. Because their parents want them to. And it's like, what do you think that's going to do to the kid?
Yeah.
He might want to dance or go to drama club. Let him do what sparks him.
Yeah.
You can't live vicariously through your kids. It's not your job to do that. You had your chance.
But that's what they want. I mean, they want to live through their kids. And
you can't do that.
I didn't make as a footballer. I would force my child or my son to become a footballer.
But that's, like I said, that's where it goes to your emotional intelligence and certain parents' decision making. A lot of it can even be culture. We get married, we get young, we have kids young. That's just the way it is. It's like, no, why does it have to be like that? Yeah. We're in 2024. You don't need to just be reproducing because that's the way all the other generations did it without any thought process. Have a plan for your own life before you start bringing other lives into the world.
And have some plan for that life.
Have a plan for that life as well. Don't just drop it and hope that it's going to float in this big ocean.
Exactly.
It's dog eat dog out here, and it's getting harder and harder. Really, jobs are getting harder to get. Qualifications are getting. Everything's getting harder. London's getting busier and busier. The opportunities are shutting down on people. There are many opportunities, but you have to think outside of that box to get that opportunity. If you're just mediocre, you don't stand out, you don't make an effort, you can't be bothered, you're never going to get past that flat line. No. Never. So, a lot of it is, the onus is down to a lot of parents in not pushing their kids to do the right thing.
This season coming, what do you think? What's your prediction?
Under 10s, boy. This is, I'm hoping that we're going to do well. The team still has a really solid core. Again, we've got a player who's just been signed by a Premier League club, so it's going to be sad to see him go. But in the same breath, it's going to be exciting to see what the rest of the boys can do without little man there. See how they can navigate the pitch themselves.
I'm looking forward to it.
So
the whole season, we're ready, we're prepared. Like you said, it's kids football. Our job is to develop them, give them some life skills, and give them confidence,
we do that
holistic approach, isn't it? So we try to do psychological and physiological, and then try to guide them with football as well.
100%.
And put them on a stage. Let's see where they get
and make them feel part of something.
Part of the family,
that's
part
it.
special.
Look, when
and
we
enjoyment
walk into
with these
the
memories,
100%. When we walk into a tournament, we walk into a JP, everyone's like, "Oh, damn, the Tigers are here." You know what I mean? Because they know we're a unit when we arrive to places, and even after matches, whether we win, lose, or draw, our boys' heads are always up. Have you noticed that as well? Yes. They don't drop on the floor. They don't start crying and having little tantrums because we tell them, "Listen, you may have lost, but what did you learn today?" It's not a loss, it's a learning curve. What did you make?
Every loss
100%,
is a learning curve.
100%.
You learn more from losing than actually winning.
And we still have our little chant at the end of it. We make the noise in the rectory to the point where everyone's like, that team is here again. And it's like, that whole unity, that feeling of belonging, that you won't get in a lot of places. No.